Part 2. Our guest readers tonight span 3 countries, though all of these proud Irish people. Tim Cunningham is from Limerick and lives in Sussex in England. Richard Halperin is Irish-American who lives in Paris, and last but not least is Noel Quay from Tralee. Tim Cunningham was born in Limerick in 1942. Tim has 3 collections published: Don Marcelino's Daughter, Peterloo Poets 2001, Unequal Thurs, Peterloo Poets 2006, and Quay, Revival Press 2008. Tim Cunningham.
Good evening, and thank you very much for the his letter. My father was killed in the Second World War. I don't remember him. He sent and usually getting a bit tough. He was writing with sketchy letters very, very quickly to my mother. And the last one that he wrote it in pencil. And he asked her to go over it in pen. His letter. Opening the letter, words flew up like butterflies. They exploded with rainbow wings. I part the yellowing pages now, brittle as fallen leaves, unbandaged past. He writes of where he is, of guard duty tinselled in frost, and stars like sixpences reflecting on his bayonet. Remembers where he was, his mother's fingers sculpting flower, his father's feet and his welcome through acres of neighbouring fields. Dreams of where he longs to be, alighting from the troop train, seeing his Venus's green coat appearing in a cloud of steam. And knowing the pencil's lead would sink in the page's white rapids, he asks her to rewrite his words in pen. Then the poem's pencil sketch of love, of life disappearing like wrens into a bush. I read his testament, follow the vowel and consonantal roads we might have walked, but mostly I watch her hand, observe it tracing faithfully the loop and line of letters, her pen climbing his wordscape, its warm ink intimate on pencil like skin on skin. Thanks for the encouragement, but if you wait till the end, it's probably better. Otherwise, if I don't hear it very loud, it's like, Don Marcelino's, this is the title poem. It's not one of my favourite poems here, but people seem to like it, so I'm reading it. Don Marcelino's Daughter. Bears near the first scratch, sharpening calcium razors on caves' blank walls. That was before Don Marcelino's daughter crawled through the crevice and held her incredulous candle to the dying bison's eye. Her own eyes danced at every picture in the gallery, bulls, cows, prancing cows, their red coats sticking to her finger. And the roof thundered with wild boars and the unshod gallop of horses. I pictured her in the underpass, watching vagrants chalk their memory of stallions on cement, the train's wheels clanking above, the draught extinguishing her candle. Don Marcelino was a Spanish nobleman, and he was out at the foot of the Altamira Cave, Cantabrian Hills, with his little daughter Maria and the dogs. And she followed the dogs into this crevice that the dad could get into, and she saw these amazing cave paintings. My grandfather had cancer, and he was in the City Home Hospital, what they call St. Camillus. He was given 3 months to live. He was about 80, and he decided to discharge himself. He bought a new bicycle that he called Lightning. He travelled, all over the country and died 3 years later. Bequest. The sun does not die intestate. It bequeaths the moon and a tango of stars. My grandfather knew this because wisdom shines clear through the windows of a terminal ward. and, aware of darkness congealing at the door, he gathered light and a half-light. When the day nurse giggled on the telephone, he snatched the sun and rolled it under his bed. When the night nurse stole a minute's sleep, he stuffed his pillow with the moon. And when at last he rested beyond sleep, they cleared his locker and found a bag full of stars. The sky is darker now, but contrary to what the lawyers state, he did not die intestate. I'm not brilliant at technology, and that's what I call a euphemism, or the euphemism. When I was a kid, lived in John Square, and it's fine now, but then the house there were tenants, rented out, and we used to have mice coming up from the cellar. And I was the man of the house at about 6 years of age, and my job was to get the top of a polished tin and flatten it out and then nail it down over the hole, and set little traps and so on. And it's the mouse stuff this. Mouse. Time scratches the floorboards, scurries soft and furry on pink feet. I plugged the mouse holes like some rodent dyke, flattening polished tins and nailing lids down with the guilt of crucifixion. Such unheroic shields. Every night the baiting of traps with bread, with nuggets of cheese. Each morning a plot disposal in the yard. Except the tiny one I freed, the baby caught by its terrified tail and dragging the trap like a toy-town horse and cart. No droppings now on the breakfast table. The house has shed its tenement skin, metamorphosed to studios, surgeries, the smart.com address. The only holes are PowerPoints. The only mouse sends arrows scurrying round the beady view, or sleeps by its computer, careless, no appetite for cheese, its long tail tapering to the back of the machine. The click at the touch of the finger has nothing on the snap of a midnight trap, and never a panic in its plastic breast. I met my wife when we were both mature students at Berkeley College in London, and I was renting a place called St. George Square by the embankment in Victoria, right next to the river, and it's called Students. What I remember most about those bedsit days by the imperturbable Thames is waiting for your visit, watching you approach, the sun catching your hair like a raven's wing, and your flowing black dress taking focus like a shadow finding substance with each louder singing step, and the heavenly ascent to the tiny attic room to which your body gave soul as we unribboned and unwrapped the gift of each other, frantic fingers busy with the braided skin, and removing our glasses to study love more closely.